We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Hotspots Happening Out presents Wilton Manors' top food and drink event happening on November 11th with VIP perks and local culinary experiences. Nearly 700 are expected, and there's very few tickets remaining. Get your tickets now.
Groundbreaking research reveals that 97% of transgender youth continue gender-affirming care even after 5 years in the process. This debunks detransition claims from anti-trans advocates.
DKB Med and Sunshine Cathedral unite to offer HIV screenings, health checkups, and free produce to help underserved South Florida communities on November 2nd.
A viral deepfake falsely accuses Vice President candidate Tim Walz of sexual assault, sparking concerns about AI's role in political misinformation ahead of the elections. The LGBTQ community preparing for these types of attacks will likely see in the days leading up to November 5th elections.
A heartwarming PSA shows a father accepting his transgender daughter and offering her the needed support amidst the anti-trans laws. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening television news, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels. We are proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ, and we now have more than 10 million views on the only daily live queer news show in the world. We're proud that we have more than 1,000 new YouTube subscribers in October alone, and that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ brand in Florida. Over 500,000 of you watched this show in the last 60 days, and we say thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our community. It is Wednesday, October 23rd, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ evening news show. Whatever happens unique in LGBTQ news, you will see it and hear it. Hotspots Magazine Happening Out Television Network is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community. Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ plus nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years in the LGBTQ experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
That's right, Larry, and let's meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's begin with my sis. That's Bonnie Builder right there. She's the premier South Florida bodybuilding drag queen and the forever reigning, because they broke the mold with her, Mixed Mary's Wilton Manors. A recent graduate of FIU, Bonnie Builder is a trainer and comes to life with a microphone and a spotlight. How are you, Mama? Welcome back. I love the red.
Baby, I look incredible. Do y'all see me? I look so expensive, even though nothing on me costs more than $20.
And we all know you're cheap.
Hello, baby. Even you can afford me, and you're on a teacher salary. My name is Bonnie Builder, and I will be your hostess this evening for Drag Trivia at the Gathering. You can find me there on Wednesdays at 8 o'clock. But there's also something huge happening. On November 2nd in Wilton Manors at Pub on the Drive, I will be part of this incredible event happening called the Night of 1,000 Kamalas. You got to come out. It is on November 2nd at Pub on the Drive. You will see me there. Who else will we see there?
Me, because I'll be hosting too. That's going to be fantastic. And Larry's a part.
But I'm not going to look like this. That's all I'll say.
You're going to dress like Tim?
No.
Oh, okay,
if you
we'll
dress like
find
Kamala,
out.
I swear for God.
We will see.
We shall see.
So that starts at 5 p.m. at the pub, right?
Exactly. And you better be there because you're going to see what I'm going to wear that night.
Night of 1,000 Kamalas. You definitely don't want to miss that. Next up, let's welcome anchor Dr. Ty Hauser. He's a professor of English and Humanities at Broward College and teaches at the College of Business at Florida Atlantic University. He has served as a visiting professor at colleges in Bolivia, Brazil, China, India, and Spain, and provides an international viewpoint. How are you, Mr. Ty?
I am doing so well this week, Faye. Thanks for asking. It's been an exciting couple of weeks here in South Florida.
Right?
I'm really looking forward to the election, so I know how to behave when I go home for Thanksgiving.
Right? It really is going to matter, right? Whatever happens November 5th is going to really just change the dynamic of what Thanksgiving will look like for a lot of us and our families, right? I never even thought about that. It's so true. I'm not going to talk to them anyway. Next up, let's welcome Larry Farber. Larry has over 20 years plus of experience in human resources, acting, film, radio, TV, live events, parade float design, production, and casting. What don't you do, boo? You don't do makeup and hair? He's an advocate for LGBTQ rights. He's proud to be living the dream here in Wilton Manors, serving on a city advisory board and ongoing civic project initiatives as a dedicated volunteer. Larry, so a charity event named Suitcases for Love that I saw on social media and looks so incredible is going to be happening at the Well on October 26th. Tell me what's happening.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a great night to raise money for a great cause from 6 to 8 at the Well. And there'll be live drag performances from Amy Drymouth, Madison Mansfield, Phoenix Sindora, Rain Chambers, Pam Demick, and Lila Cox. And this is being put on by two lovely gentlemen, Ruben Herrera and Mark Davis, who are local residents. And what Suitcases of Love does is they're a nonprofit based here in Fort Lauderdale, and they're really dedicated, Faye, to making a positive impact on the lives of youth, job seekers, athletes, LGBT community, and orphans of Medellin, Colombia.
Hey,
so
our roots.
Yes, it's international, and they help locally in terms of our community job placement, sports activities, mental health support, and HIV testing. And hopefully, delivering into the resources that are needed in our community and in Medellin. So I'm excited to be promoting this, and I look forward to the event on Saturday.
I love that. And you know how many gay boys in Wilton Manors have a boyfriend in Medellin? I can see the connection. I can see the connection.
I think it's a trend.
I think it's a trend. No, but I mean, also, no, it has nothing to do with the fact that us Colombians are gorgeous. Nothing at all.
Not a single thing.
I love the queens that you mentioned that are performing. Incredible queens. I worked with some of them yesterday for Queens for Kamala, where we had a phone banking event, and we also waved flags and signs on Wilton Drive.
I saw you online.
And these incredible performers, entertainers, they dedicate their time, their strength, their advocacy to do this. Now, one of them I'm going to call out because her name is Pam Demick. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. No, but so I worked with Pam yesterday, and she's everything, right? So she came up during COVID, right? Hence the name Pandemic, right?
True.
But now that we're kind of over pandemic a little bit, right? Over COVID a little bit, even though it's still happening out there. Get tested if you need to, right? So we kind of made her name French. Pam Demick.
Okay. Thank you.
And she's still good with it. Tell her I said so. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. And now I want to introduce tonight's lead anchor, Faye What.
Oh, that's me.
Not only is she a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of the Faye What Show on Mondays, Faye, you will be hosting the first ever Wilton Drive block party on November 6th. Tell me, what's happening?
Picture it, Wilton Drive between Northeast 20th Street and Northeast 26th Street, all right, from 5 to 8 p.m. Join us for a special night out on the drive. The Wilton Drive Improvement District brings you the Wilton Drive Block Party. I'm your host, Faye What. The Wilton Drive Block Party is going to feature live music, DJs, special discounts at restaurants and shops, and a whole lot more. Some of the fantastic establishments offering discounts and fun are Burgers and Beers, Sardi Cafe and Lounge, Ethos Greek Bistro, Violets and Zen's, Dude's Bar, Chic Optique, Apartment 9F, Myth Gastro Bar, To the Moon, Deliria's, Dairy Queen, Sunsurf, Claudia Castillo, Top and Bottom Men's Clothing, Infinity Lounge, Hunters, True Blue, Drink Bar, The Pub, Gym, Sports Bar, George's Alibi, Gallery XO, Tea and Spice, Tattoo, Indelible, and more. And I'm going to be hitting all those spots in my own personal circuit. It's going to be a whole lot of fun, all right?
Wow.
So join me. I can't wait to see you there. Wilton Drive Block Party, November 6th. All of it is starting at 5 p.m. If you remember, we were supposed to have it this month, but Hurricane Milton had some other plans for us. But no big deal. We'll have it for you right at the beginning of November. So get all your info on Facebook under Wilton Drive Block Party. See you then. We are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, October 23rd, 2024. First this evening, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. Taste of the Island, food and fun, comes to Wilton Manors November 11th. Get ready for an evening of culinary delights. Hotspots Happening Out's 19th annual Taste of the Island is coming to Wilton Manors. This popular outdoor tasting event happens on November 11th at the stunning Richardson Historical Park and Nature Preserve. Guests can explore delicious food and drinks from dozens of the finest local restaurants. VIP ticket holders even get access to the event with air-conditioned seating and complimentary drinks. Tickets are selling fast, so grab yours before it's too late at tasteoftheisland.org. This is one of my favorite events because you get to eat. And you get some really good food. I mean, for a menial price, you get to really just indulge for an evening, right? Some of the places, Casa Monaco, I love them. Wilton Wings, oh my God, okay, one of my faves. Cafe BVR, Cake Daddies, I love you, Cake Daddies. The hottest bakers up in there, right? Bravo Peruvian, which is one of my favorite Peruvian spots, right? Golden Crust, Aroma Joel's, Nor Thai Kitchen. That's just to name a few, all right? A lot of the most incredible places that you love on an everyday basis on the drive and adjacent to the drive are going to be there at Taste of the Island on November 11th. And I'll be your host, okay? So that's always a lot of fun. The Synergy twins are going to be there also, Jeff and Stephen Neal. If you know them, then you know how hot they are and how adorable they are. And they just like play all these incredible songs on their violins. And yeah, they're just so hot. I wish they lived here. So get your tickets today. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Have you kids been to the Taste of the Island before?
So I haven't. I can't believe it's been 19 years because I remember the first one. Like, I honest to God remember the first one. That's how old I am.
Well, you ain't got to say much about that.
But we are so lucky here in Wilton Manors. We have so many good restaurants just up and down all over the island, but also, as you said, kind of island adjacent.
Yes.
We eat well.
We eat well.
Yes, we should.
We look good and we eat well.
Yes.
You know? Larry, you ever been?
No, I've been down here 5 years from the New York, New Jersey area, and I think this year will be the year.
Yeah.
I hear so many great things, and I definitely won't get out there.
Well, Bonnie, when you do eat on those off weeks,
Which I do often.
desserts, drinks, food, what would be like your favorite that you would go to first?
My man. No, but seriously, I eat often on the drive because I'm there almost damn near every day. So the fact that there's an opportunity for me to explore more venues for me to eat food while I'm out there studying or making friends or doing whatever I'm doing. I love events like this. I love where you can, the point is the food. I love events where it circulates around the food. Events where there's no eating or no seating, I do not attend. So the fact that this is all about the food and they probably got places for you to sit to, baby, I'm there.
Right?
You'll catch me there.
Right? And like, what a great point when you said that you'll try a place that maybe you've walked by and like haven't gone into, right? And then you're like, oh man, I really need to make it a point to go to this place, you know?
Right.
Big shout out and big thank you going out to Greco Ford for being just such an incredible main sponsor. I've been working with you guys for the last couple of years and you guys are awesome and your cars are dope too.
Okay.
All right.
Next, let's queer up health. A myth debunked. New study confirms low detransition rate among transgender youth. A groundbreaking study published in the JAMA, Journal of American Medical Association Pediatrics, has revealed that the vast majority of transgender youth continue with gender-affirming care even after several years of transitioning. This study analyzed the experiences of 220 transgender youth who had been transitioning for at least 5 years. Conducted through Princeton University's Trans Youth Project, the research debunks misinformation concerns raised by anti-trans advocates who claim that many transgender youth would detransition later in life. It is important to note that only 4% of the participants reported detransitioning at any point, while a staggering 97% continued their gender-affirming care. Of the 220 youth, just 9 expressed any form of regret. But this did not necessarily reflect a change in their gender identity. In fact, knee replacement surgeries have a higher regret rate, which is 20%. Furthermore, a secondary group of 49 youth representing those lost in follow-ups showed 94% satisfaction with their transition, suggesting a minimal bias in the data. Experts emphasize that this research confirms what many in the trans community said they already knew: high satisfaction rates and low regret surrounding gender-affirming care for youth. So, science. love science, love polls, love taking polls, obviously. But I love when you can back a statement with proof and evidence and research. People on the other side of the fence are just saying blanket statements that aren't based in any sort of truth or study or anything. It is just based off their beliefs. On this side of the fence, we're doing studies. And I'm sure this was conducted by people who were not biased, who just wanted the facts.
Girl,
Princeton, wherever you are, you did an incredible job. But people who had an unbiased goal with this study found legitimate results. And it turns out people on the other side of the fence are dumb as hell. They don't even know what they're talking about. People who transition are fine for the most part. And if they do decide to detransition or retransition, which is another term that I learned recently, that's on them. But nothing is being thrusted upon people, especially the youth, to transition for trends, for TikTok. That don't make no sense, and it's not true. And here's the proof.
Yeah, and it's important that we get this story out there because what the right does so well is make totally wild, false claims, and they get on top of the narrative totally without support, without facts. Yeah. And now we've got facts, so it's time that we get on top of this narrative and we say, hey, no, this is what's really happening. You don't have the right to misrepresent our community.
Completely. And we need more data like this. We do. That's the thing, that people aren't using their money to help data that would help our community, right? And this data helps our community. The CDC says it. The AMA says it. You know, listen to science, right? Science says that gender-affirming care helps LGBTQ plus kids not want to kill themselves, okay? There. Really quick statement, right? That encompasses really what these kids are going through, right? 4%, like that's so staggering. You know, I know a lot of trans people, and I've yet to meet somebody that has detransitioned yet. You know, again, there's exceptions to every rule.
Exactly.
And there's stupid people, right? You know what I mean?
Yes.
But for the most part, 96% of that data states that people were happier in the bodies that they were meant to be, living their true, authentic selves. Larry, what do you think?
I completely agree, and I think that the right wing is out of control. We've seen it many times before. We recently did a story here at Queer News last week where they were talking about the gentleman who was on The Bachelor and later said, it was just a social experiment. I'm not really trans. I mean, it's criminal. Yes. And, we really need to take a hard look. These people portray themselves as, strong God dedicated people, and then they treat their fellow men and women and communities the way they do, and it's just wrong.
Yeah, and the right wing takes advantage of it.
Absolutely.
They will take that person that detransition and put them on a pedestal and pay them money and have them do PSAs, and all of a sudden, people that don't know trans people, or they think they don't know trans people, just in case, all right? Then they get this false information.
Absolutely, and I think that the biggest thing that we can do as a community to keep on doing outreach, speaking at schools. I mean, one of the greatest experiences I had before coming down to Florida 5 years ago was I was part of New Jersey Speakers Bureau. And one of the greatest things that I saw in the trans community is I had been on the Speakers Bureau for several years as a gay lesbian panel. And we finally got a great trans speaker who worked for the government of New Jersey.
I love
and the students at William Patterson University were more interested in what Susan, I believe was her name, had to say. And we were like, oh yeah, we know about you gay men and women. We want to hear about the trans experience in this person's life. And it was wonderful. And she represented very well, and we were all sitting there saying, give us some time,
I love that. No, I know,
so I was very happy for her.
I love that, but it's time.
Yes.
Larry, you understand that? The time is way overdue.
Absolutely.
If you're on an advisory board and the T is not represented, your advisory board does not represent our community.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah. And it was great that the students had an interest, and it was very unbiased. There was a nice interaction, and that showed a lot of progress. And that was 5 years ago.
I love that.
But we need that down here in Florida.
And we need that more and more.
Absolutely.
Next, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. DKB Med launches unique HIV outreach program in South Florida on November 2nd. In an effort to tackle both health and food insecurity in South Florida, DKB Med has partnered with Sunshine Cathedral to launch the Feeding Souls, Protecting Bodies HIV Outreach in South Florida program. On Saturday, November 2nd, from 9 a.m. to noon, the initiative will offer critical services like HIV screenings and health checkups, alongside free fresh produce and pantry staples for underserved communities. The unique program combines multi-level care delivery that is not often seen in our LGBTQ+ community. As an example, Sunshine Cathedral Food Program, led by Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell, feeds more than 30,000 in their food sharing program. DKB Med brings together HIV and other medical providers for healthcare prevention and care. The two organizations are taking a more combined approach to comprehensive health and needs in the LGBTQ+ community. As Queer News Tonight often reports, South Florida faces one of the highest HIV rates in the nation, with Fort Lauderdale experiencing 3 times the number of new HIV cases every year compared to the national average. Addressing these disparities, the event aims to improve patient outcomes, focusing on testing rates and PrEP utilization, a key factor in HIV prevention. At the health fair, medical staff from Holy Cross Health will provide free screenings for HIV, blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes, Hep C, and syphilis. Visitors can also engage in health education with pamphlets available in English, Spanish, and Creole. A fun health passport game will offer incentives, including a $10 Visa gift card and a chance to win a $100 Visa gift card in a raffle. Food insecurity is also a major focus. Nearly 80% of people living with HIV experience food insecurity, which negatively impacts their health. By combining health screenings with a farmer's market, the program aims to identify and support individuals who may be unaware of their HIV status or not receiving adequate care. The Safe Space, Feeding Our Souls, Protecting Bodies fair will be on the Sunshine campus on November 2nd. For more information on this impactful initiative, visit dkbmed.com. There is so much right about this story. First of all, Sunshine is always at the front of doing these wonderful initiatives, and taking this kind of holistic approach to healthcare is what we need more of. We can't just kind of be silos, and I think Holy Cross is seeing that, which is why they're out there trying to get more involved in the community, saying, you know, we need to not just treat one symptom, we need to treat the whole person, the whole community.
Yeah, no, I love it. And, you know, I love that we're right now at Sunshine Cathedral campus, right? Our studio is like adjacent to it. And it's true what Ty says, like they're always at the forefront of trying to help, right? And then something else comes up, oh, we've got to figure out how to help them with this as well, right? Last month, they helped a bunch of dog owners help get their dogs vaccinated and got them, free passes to get their pets spayed and neutered. These are the type of things that Reverend Dr. Ann Atwell and the crew over there at Sunshine Cathedral do, you know? But look at all the things that you can get screened for and checked out for, right? You said HIV, you said syphilis, you said blood pressure, Hep C,
diabetes.
Diabetes, these are all things that our community suffers from. And too many of us have unfortunate stories about dealing with healthcare professionals that didn't know how to deal with us, right? And Holy Cross is trying to debunk that and make sure that your experience when it comes to healthcare is at the forefront and is paramount every time you walk through their doors or you go to an event that they're a part of, right? So big kudos going out to DKB Med and all the folks over at Holy Cross. Von Biggs, you know that you are a warrior, my friend.
Babe.
You are a freaking warrior. He actually got me this pin that you probably can't see, right? But it says, and I quote, and it says, well-behaved women rarely make history.
That's right.
And he got me that pin. Anyway, I love him. Dr. Jason, who is like the sexiest doctor like in life, right? Who works over at Holy Cross as well.
You say to Dr. Tyhauser, you look that man in the face.
I'm not that kind of doctor, but I'll have a look.
Because I would watch that Doctor on Dr. Love if I'll hook it up, right?
The doctors, right?
Kim over there, who is an incredible ally and a beautiful woman who does so much for our community as well. So, you know, grab some pickles and check your pickle. No, right? That could totally happen. I mean, this sounds like a great thing. Free farmers market, and you're also able to check yourself out. I don't think it gets any better. Larry, what do you think?
I think it's great. Actually, I've admired what Holy Cross did for Pride Month. They had full feature spreads, not only on their staff, but what they're doing for the community. And I work for a healthcare organization, which I won't name right now, but I'm really encouraging the same kind of match. You know, you see, Cleveland Clinic, Baptist Health in our Pride Parade, even as recently as this past year in Wilton Manors during Pride Month. And I think we need to encourage more, especially social services and healthcare organizations, to get out there and embrace.
Do we feel any sort of way about it being kind of a religious undertone? Sunshine Cathedral, right, is hashtag my queer church. Holy Cross is named Holy Cross. Does that make us feel any kind of way?
I think it turns things around from what it maybe had been. I worked in Jersey for 14 years for a hospital named St. Barnabas Medical Center. Now it's gone through a lot of reiterations and it's no longer called that. But hospitals got away from the sectarianism, and I think they became more humanistic and community driven. And hopefully we see more of that.
Bonnie, you agree?
I don't think religion has to be the antithesis of queer. There's a lot of intersection that meets at many points. For example, where we are currently, Sunshine Cathedral. There are a lot of religious people who are pieces of shit, but religion as a whole doesn't have to be that way. Now, I'm not particularly religious, but I still have respect for those who have that faith, especially when the faith encourages people to throw events like this. I think this is so incredibly important. Some people may feel like we're speaking too much or doing too much or talking too much about your health and HIV health and all that good stuff. There are people in this community who have no idea what to do when something happens to them, or have no idea what their health status is, and people refusing to go get their health status because they're afraid of the results. There are a lot of people who are still behaving like this. So we got to bash you over the head with it. Please put your health first. Please do it. Also, it's November 2nd. So you do that in the morning. You do that during the day. And then you come over to Pump Up and Drive and you come out to 1,000 Attic Kamala's. So it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a lot to do that day.
You're going
to have a busy day.
Yes.
You're going to be so popular that day. Do that.
Larry, what's next?
Next, let's queer up social justice. Viral deepfake video falsely accuses Minnesota Governor Walz of gay sexual assault as a teacher. A viral post on Twitter, or X, falsely claimed that Minnesota Governor Tim Walz sexually assaulted a former student, Matthew Metro, in 1997. The video accompanying the post showed unnatural facial movements and a robotic voice. However, it was quickly flagged by deepfake detection tools. Viewers also noted inconsistencies in Metro's appearance and the timeline of his school years. The video, confirmed to be an AI deepfake, was debunked through community notes, but not before sparking concern about the rise of AI-generated content in political misinformation. Metro himself denied the allegations, stating the video is clearly fabricated. This incident is part of a deeper and broader trend of AI deepfakes being used to manipulate political narratives, especially against minorities and queer communities. Experts warn that AI deepfakes are a growing threat, emphasizing the need for public education and stricter regulations to combat these misleading technologies, especially as our elections approach. Conspiracy theories and misinformation may also be in play in this incident. There are persistent conspiracy and misinformation promoting Governor Walz as secretly gay. Fox News hosts have extensively discussed this topic, and former Fox anchor Tucker Carlson said Walz is, quote, very obviously gay, unquote. Critics point out that these types of unfounded accusations give incentive to create AI deepfakes and then often be believed. Well, again, the right wing, I did a little research during the day today, and, there's a lot of thought that not only the attacks on Walz, with this allegation, but that, it's the Russians and other countries really trying to just dig right in. I have a feeling that there's a lot of truth in that, but you don't hear that on the news.
Of course.
Yeah, and what do you all think?
AI scares the crap out of me.
It scares me too.
AI just,
think about how fast it's moved, because it was just a couple of months ago that it was just Joe Biden's voice on a robocall. That was AI. Now we have a video of a fake person doing this.
And it looks creepy.
It looks creepy, and it's happening so fast. But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. I mean, and they're getting so gross about it. We expected this from the right. We knew that they were going to go somewhere with it. But saying things like this on sexual assault is not something to play with. It's not something that you just say happened, like nothing, This gentleman, Metro, has said that this didn't happen. Metro needs to be speaking up louder, my friend. Metro, you need to start making some videos or whatever it is. Because people are just seeing this AI fabrication and they're not seeing Metro's part saying, hey, that's not me, that's AI, But Ty, I mean, I'm telling you, like that AI, all of it, like I know it helps you write a story and it helps with resumes, but it scares the living daylights out of me that someone can literally take my face and voice and have it say whatever it wants, and that people might believe it.
Yeah.
You know, they could say, Faye, what comes out? A Republican. Oh my God!
There's no faking Faye White.
I'm voting for Trump. Can you imagine?
I have my new AI prompt I'm going to try.
Oh my God.
Shut up, Ty.
So, with stories like this, obviously that video looked fake because it looked like a water balloon was talking at me for a couple seconds. But there are videos where it looks a lot more convincing. Like if you go on the dark side of Twitter, you have celebrities' faces being put on porn stars' bodies, actively having coitus with other men. And sometimes it's attractive, but it's very dangerous when they do that, and misleading. We're at a point now where you can barely tell if it's fake. You can barely tell, but it's only going to get stronger. So I'm hoping that there is technology on the other end of that spectrum that will help us debunk it even faster, or even immediately be like, this video has clearly been altered with AI to show a fake person talking or something like that. I'm putting faith in technology like that, because otherwise we gonna have people saying anything for whatever reason, for whomever, getting everybody in trouble. So I'm hoping that there is some sort of legislation on the back end being formed to protect us from AI misleading videos like this.
Academics, philosophers, and ethicists are having a field day with this because they're super concerned, not only for their own jobs, right, which a philosopher can easily be replaced by AI unless there's something new that's going on in philosophy. But ethicists are like, okay, so how do we even approach this from a social, ethical standpoint?
Yeah, well, they need to get on that much faster. I mean, think about how long it's taken for there to be legal ramifications because of social media, right?
Bullying,
That's taken so many years to make happen, okay? This needs to happen now because AI is going at a rapid pace, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be slowing down anytime soon.
Well, and that's the problem. The AI is outpacing what it is, because academia is a very kind of pragmatic, thoughtful way of approaching things, and it doesn't necessarily act as much as it reacts.
Yeah.
Right? Especially when something is moving so much more quickly than we can think about.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be watching.
Absolutely.
We are not AI.
That's right.
Next.
All agree.
I am.
Next, let's queer up trans rights. Farmer's heartwarming journey to accept his trans daughter is winning hearts. A moving public service announcement showed a father learning to embrace his transgender daughter. It is a story we all need to hear. The 2-minute video released by the Not Losing You film project opens with a farmer driving his tractor, reflecting on his life as he stops to examine a photo of himself with his male-presenting child. The image shows the pair in matching camouflage jackets, marked with Halter and Dad, father-son team, first place archery. The father gazes at the picture, then walks into the house where his child, now presenting as a girl, breaking the silence, he apologizes for something he said earlier and tells her, quote, "I've been doing a lot of thinking. If you want to change your name, if you want to wear a dress, I don't know the kind of support you need, but let's get you some for all this transgender stuff," end quote. The daughter's face lights up with hope as she asks if he's serious. And he responds, quote, "This is me supporting you. This is me saying I love you. This is me not losing you," end quote. I got goosebumps. The video ends with the father calling her by her new name, Holly, and the two sharing an emotional hug. Created by the Not Losing You film project, the announcement highlights the impact of recent anti-trans laws on youth mental health and aims to prevent trans youth suicide, particularly in rural communities, during the 2024 election.
This little light of mine.
Dad?
Before you say anything, I just want to apologize for what I said this morning. I've been doing a lot of thinking. If you want to change your name, if you want to wear a dress.
It's a skirt, Dad.
skirt. I don't know the kind of support you need, but let's get you some for all this transgender stuff.
Wait. Are you serious? Dad, what is this?
Oh, this is me supporting you. This is me saying I love you. This is me not losing you.
Love you, Dad.
Love you. Holly.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
How am I supposed to talk after that?
Hey. Well,
Oh my God. Okay. Oh wow, that was tough. Thanks a lot, Steve. You asked. Kids are shunned. Kids are homeless. Kids lose their families when they come out as LGBTQ+, and especially trans. This video just reminds me that we're everywhere, right? So a young youth, representing the T in a rural area in America doesn't have Wilton Drive to fall back on, right? All they have is maybe social media or maybe a friend or something. A lot of people just stop talking to their parents, or their parents throw them out, or whatever it is. This man didn't want to lose his daughter, didn't want to lose his child, right? And maybe this will open up someone's mind to educate themselves, because it's just education. The ignorance is what makes people hate, especially their own kid.
I think one of the things that this video points out nicely too is, rightly so, we celebrate the strength and everything that it takes for a trans person to come out and to transition. But we also have to remember that for a parent to become accepting and try to understand, that also takes a certain degree of strength.
Yes.
and self-awareness and love for their child. To just reject them is a really, really easy way around it.
Yeah.
And it's obviously the wrong way. This is beautiful.
Yeah, and I love how it ended like vote for love.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right?
So-
Vote for love. And then he mentioned, her authentic name, finishing the PSA with a hug and calling her Holly. Like, how beautiful is that to be seen?
So I'm not equating being a drag performer to the trans experience, but this did remind me of, okay, keep it together, of this year when my mom finally saw me perform in drag for the first time in her hometown, and she recorded the video. And when I heard the playback from the video, and I just hear her saying, that's my son, so loud in this club. An affirmation like that is just something so powerful, because she fiercely loves me. She fiercely loves her child. And in that moment, I realized she loves every part of me. Her love is truly unconditional. There is no condition to her love. Just like in this video, the father's love to his daughter, there is no gender condition. There is no belief condition. You are the child, so I will love you regardless. And it just brought me back to the moment. That's just a beautiful thing.
Oh, and thank you for sharing your story with us.
Yes.
Beautiful.
It is.
That was a beautiful. God. Oh my goodness.
Oh, Bonnie cries. I love it. She's normal.
I can't crack.
Wow.
I have a gig tonight. I can't crack.
Wow.
Oh.
No, you can't mess up the makeup.
I
You can't mess up the
cannot.
makeup. One last thing, parents out there or kids, there are resources for parents as well, right? Like every time we all just don't know everything, right? You have to educate yourself on stuff, and there are groups for the parents to try to just navigate how they feel and how they should talk to their kid, because you're gonna make mistakes, and mistakes are expected. We all make mistakes, right? But if you just start with love, like Bonnie was saying, it's just unconditional love. The rest will fall into place if you're willing to work at it with your child.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Whew, okay, I'm going to watch that video like 5 more times when I get home. Oh my God, it's so good for the skin. As a nonprofit LGBTQ media organization, we got to thank our viewers for supporting our mission to tell the stories of the queer community. We also thank the generous support of Jets Pizza. Jets is the LGBTQ community's most popular pizza in South Florida.
Take a look around these streets. Do you really think we woke up one day and said, yeah, the world world needs more pizza. Nah, just a better one. Better, like the world's best pizza. Jet's Detroit-style pizza. Hand-pressed and baked to the thickest, crispiest crunch. You're welcome. Now visit jetspizza.com and save. Click on hot deals for special offers in your area. Jets, better because it has to be.
Next, we are proud of our special partnership with Sunshine Cathedral, the world's largest queer church here in Fort Lauderdale. Supporting that partnership, we are broadcasting from our permanent set here at Sunshine Cathedral at the Happening Out Television Studios. We broadcast Sunshine Cathedral's Sunday International Service at 10:30 a.m.
That is today's news for the LGBT community on the world's first and only LGBT evening news show. If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headlines. We need your support. If our community is to grow, we must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of LGBTQ+ stories in motion and in sound. That is the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
I'm your anchor, Faye. What? And on behalf of these LGBTQ+ reporters, the incredible anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Bonnie Builder, Dr. Ty Hauser, and Larry Farber. We'll see you daily at 8 p.m. We remind you, the presidential election is just 12 days away. Stand up for equality, rights, and representation. Early voting has started across most of the county, across the country, So get your voting done now to avoid long lines. Let's make history. Let's vote for a better future. See you next time. Bye.
Good night.